We just talked shit for like 45 minutes. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Okay, now that's up. Instagram's always last. There we go. Instagram. Okay, so you can say something and then I'm going to double check the sound.
Hello, Maaxx.
Perfect. Let's see here. Just talk shit. Oh. Okay, that's up. Last. This is how after the sound is. There we go. Instagram. Okay, say something and then I'm going to double check the sound.
Hello, Maaxx.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of okay. Let me see if I can. I'm going to lower my volume a notch here too. Okay, I think we're fine. It doesn't sound echoey. So, welcome back, guys. This week we're doing 2 live streams. I've been very busy, but we're back at it. So today is episode 42 of Facts with Maaxx, and I have a fellow bikini queen with me on here, whose name is Ashley. And I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. You can however you wish. And for anyone who's curious about her, after the live stream is posted, I will put all of her links in the caption as well.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Reese. I am part of the WBFF Bikini Pro Athlete, and I'm also owner of Upstage Beauty Medical Day Spa and Wellness Center here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I got to shoot some pics with Miss Mad Max up in Connecticut at one of my shows, and we linked up and wanted to get together on this forum and talk some shop together.
Yeah. Wait, what is? Oh, sorry. No, something was playing. I was like, I hear us twice that. No, we're all good. You, by the way, I'm going to remind you on the live stream. You haven't picked your edits from the photo shoot yet.
I know I got to. Now I'm
I did
2
a
shows
beautiful
deep in
shoot
it.
with her, and she hasn't even picked the edits, and it's several months ago.
But I was wearing those glasses, which I love.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yes, the blue light glasses. I highly recommend. I gotta say, before I used to wear these, I didn't even think about it. I used to have another pair that is just clear that I can't find right now. They're just the clear ones without color, and I thought that was fine. But I have to say, ever since I started using these, like I don't really get tired in my head and eyes from sitting by the
Mm-hmm.
computer, which is great. I love this. You can get yellow, orange, or red. So the red is the darkest. I have a hard time editing photos with the red ones because I can't see colors like it all. So the orange I do love very much. Highly recommend everybody to get blue light
They
glass.
look great.
So how long have you had your day spa? And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I've owned Upstage for, let's see, almost 20 years now. And I actually switched it over to a medical day spa and wellness center whenever I brought in some more nutrition components to help people with skincare about 10 years ago, which was very helpful during COVID because it deemed me essential, which
Mhm.
was great. That was one of the greatest years of probably the career because everybody was wanting to get healthy and grow from home and do all the great things. But yes, I've been passionate about skincare and just helping people kind of connect with the beauty inside and out. For like, and I found that what they eat, is mainly what comes out on their skin anyway. So it's a big culprit. So if I could get it to come together, it just sped everything along with what I was doing in the treatment room. So
Mm.
I've enjoyed it.
So how did this start for you? Did you have like an extreme event yourself? Was it something that happened to you that kind of made you get into this, or how did it
Well,
go?
that's a good question. Well, when you're young and you just well, for me, it was like I didn't know really where I wanted to go. Like I didn't want
Mm.
to do conform and do everything. Like I didn't want to do a 9 to 5 check in, check out kind of thing. I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
something I really enjoyed, and I loved makeup. Like back then, I was more into doing makeup artistry, like doing a bunch of weddings and different events and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I went to my neighbor's house to get like a cup of cappuccino and just like chit chat over coffee, and she had all this skin care stuff, and she was whipping it out, and it was in this like certain thing because she had gone to school for aesthetics, and I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you know all this stuff and what to use and this, that, and the other? She goes, yeah, girl, I went to school for it and you can make money with it and this, that, and the other. I was like, nah. And so, like, that following semester, I enrolled in school, and then I just kind of started tacking things on, like permanent makeup, certain
Mm-hmm.
certain peels and microneedling and just different things to kind of just broaden the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got into fitness competing, I realized that it was good because spray tans, lashes, skincare, nutrition, it all could help those women. And on a health, I was determined to show them how to do it healthy, like
Oh,
versus
I
all
think
the not good stuff you take.
I think it's a massive thing. And first of all, so people are not really eating very well, meaning now their outside doesn't look as good as it could look. So then they want to put stuff on to make themselves look better. And that, so it's just like the poison goes in and then you put more poison on to hide what the poison was causing in the first place. So it's just like a
Hmm.
spiral. And I mean, I was never about makeup and stuff. And I would say, like, I have no, I actually think, and I think a lot of women probably agree with me, I actually hate what I look like with makeup on. I feel like I look worse and I look older. And
Hmm.
it's like almost I mean, when you're young, I don't know, then you don't need it anyway. But when you get a little older, like, even if the wrinkles are not showing, it's like you still have a little, even if you can't really tell. And then you put makeup and you're like, ah, there they are. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And on the other side, the flip side of that, like, so a lot of them, depending on the journey of life it is like a security blanket of like an identity of like, oh, I could be somebody else. It could
mm-hmm,
be my power. And if you apply it certain ways, you don't see those things and you use good stuff. And you could just,
mm-hmm.
because I did competitive dance for 17 years. So it was
Okay.
like I was coming into character. So
Mm-hmm.
it was really kind of fun to perform and to just do that because it was my creative artsy side of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of painting on a picture on a wall, which I'm not the best at, I could paint faces, and I really did like enjoy that.
Uh-huh. I really like that. Well, so you, I would think it doesn't look like you're wearing a lot of makeup.
Yeah, like normally, I just use like a 10 moisturizer, and I love lip
Mm-hmm.
gloss. Just because I'm
Yeah.
just one of those people that I'm like, yeah, yeah. So I love wearing lip gloss. I try not to overdo it, and I look the same if I had it on or if I didn't have it
Mm-hmm.
on. The only difference is if it's a show, it's obviously more.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Oh
mean,
no.
you have to advertise in my business. You're advertising. I'm the billboard for what I do. So I
Mhm.
have to
Yeah.
kind of. You're
I
not
mean,
going to go to
something
someone bad
I've
skin for
been,
it.
I, I just, it's like, are you good at doing hair? Hair, that's like my
I come from
struggle.
a
And
family of people that did hair,
yeah, that's
so
always
a lot of
been like,
beauticians.
I don't know. I cut it off now, and honestly, it just looks better by being short. I was like, maybe I should just keep it short.
Oh my gosh, I had hair like this short like last year. Like
Mm.
I went real short. So then I go through phases. I wear all kinds of different hair. I wear wigs too because I sell wigs. I kind of got into
Oh yeah.
that from a
Mm.
friend of mine that went through cancer, and I realized there was no real good wigs, right, for people to wear. They're like synthetic or whatever, and
Yep.
so and then some people like basically where I live, the good ones are like maybe 3 hours away, and they're like triple the price of what it really was. And I really just wanted people to feel good in their own
Mm-hmm.
scenario. And so a girlfriend of mine that actually is a hairstylist, we kind of partnered together, and we are able to get good real hair wigs that are very affordable, that are nice. And
Yeah.
it was really a great thing for people that are going through that because it's sad that they feel, and you just want to give them that joy back. So
Uh-huh. So what do you think? So when people go out there and okay, they're at the stage where okay, I do want to wear makeup and I do want to do stuff to my hair and wonder like what how do you even know what's good? What do you look for?
well, usually, I mean, and that's a good question. Hopefully, if they could find an esthetician or someone near where they
Mhm.
live or plug into some credible sources is good. But I usually like good, organic, like plant based products that are like treat and correct. So my primer It's got like earth minerals in it, so it kind of like I
Mm-hmm.
could use it on your skin, even though you're more fair complected than me, and it
Mm-hmm.
would look different on you than me because it just goes into whatever your skin tone is.
Mm.
And then I love It Cosmetic Foundation just because an esthetician did formulate it, and a lot of the ingredients in that is also in the primer. There's like these
Yeah.
things called silk amino acids, which
Uh-huh.
they kind of act as a temporary layer of skin on your face. So when you say in that, so say if you have your skin and these beads go on, then you put makeup or something else on it, you don't see
Mm-hmm.
the crepiness or the fine lines that you would if you didn't know what you were doing. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like a layering effect
Mm-hmm.
of it. And so as you go throughout the day, you look and feel hydrated, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a whole bunch of cake on your face. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I do actually have a tinted. I barely ever use it. I have a tinted moisturizer for whatever, if photo shoot, whatever. And I think I bought it from Italy. It was expensive as hell, but it only has, obviously, working with Ace Man, and it had aloe
Mm-hmm.
vera and like something. I mean, there's very very few ingredients, and same like natural stuff, whatever. And I wish that that was like the common thing. But when you go, I used to be back in the days when I used to do a lot of photo shoots and stuff. I would always go for, okay, what do you look for? Oh, okay. And then I found these gluten-free brands. I'm like, okay, that's probably good. And then you start like actually reading into, okay, they're gluten-free and vegan, but they have like 29 chemicals. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
freaky.
almost like recyclable stuff. They say, okay, use a recycle bin, but that's like a whole propaganda too that goes to the same trash yard.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
they just make a whole bunch of money off of it.
I know.
Or gluten free. It's almost like light beer. Like when I used to bartend when I was going to school, they would
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, sell light beer, and people would drink twice as much light beer as they would the regular beer. And I'm like, well, what are we really achieving here? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, just more crap in the body. Less alcohol, but more crap.
yeah, and like the gluten free cookies, people are like, well, they're gluten free. I'm like, yeah, but they're not fat free. Like they're not like
Well,
they're
yeah, I'm
still
not. I used to think like that. Here's the thing: I eat so much fat these days. It's insane. I never in my life thought that you could eat this much fat and still be okay, being like a little brainwashed by by the fitness world. However, like all of my fats is like I eat super fatty meat. I eat at least six eggs a day, full eggs with the yolk. I eat coconut oil, olive oil, avocados. Like it's so much
yeah.
fat. And when I look at it, I was like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have thought would get fat if I ate this, which is obviously not
Yeah.
the truth. So it's, you just have to make sure like what you're actually eating is real, and
Hmm.
like what's the source coming from. And I mean, there's so much of this. I always used to think that, oh, this fat-free products, that's the way to go. And actually, I never thought of it until I called my mom once. I don't know, we were talking, this is years ago. And I said, yeah, I'm on this competition prep, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling her something about beef. And I said, yeah, I need a 98% lean beef. And she said, what do you mean? I said, yeah, the 98% lean beef. But how? She said, how is that possible? And I was like, yeah, how is it possible? I don't know. She's like, I've never heard of that. Like, that didn't exist over there. I was like, yeah, what do they do with the fat? Like, how does this even work? How do you suck
Hmm.
the fat out of the beef? Because it's everywhere. you know? And it kind of just like, oh, yeah, she has a point. How does this even work?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, I mean, and there's a lot with skincare. It is the biggest growing like industry right now. Like pretty
Yeah.
much, like I have this whole theory that I've kind of noticed and seen. Like China's super smart. We all know that, but they come and they will do the same products,
Mhm.
change the name of them, make them pretty bright packaging, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
markets to teenagers, and then
Hmm.
they get on TikTok,
Same
and
crap.
then it's like the new best selling, and everybody's looking for drunk elephant or this or that or the other, and I'm like looking at it, and it is like all the same ingredients, very toxic. Like I mean, I've had
Hmm.
people come to me like dance studio people come here like from like the dance teachers, and they're calling me up. They're like, Ashley, we had a student come in, got this mask from China. She had second-degree burns from
Mm.
the chemicals. It had to go to like the hospital and get like when the like wraps put on her face and stuff.
Yeah.
And the same thing with like these other, like I'm all down for network marketers and growing and all the things, but they don't necessarily know what they're selling or promoting,
No, they don't
especially
even
if they
care.
haven't been educated to look at. Same like with
Yep.
us with nutrition and government
Hmm.
stuff and all the different things. And
Yeah.
so, where in your platform, you're kind of showing and teaching a lot in your niche. Like, I really am an advocate for showing and teaching people what's in skincare, what's in
Yeah.
their food, like really get them to whole foods. And because that
Yeah.
really, it
Like
makes so much
the
of an impact.
first, the skin starts in the gut. Like we got to start
Yeah.
there. And if you're only looking at the outside, you're never going to get to to the bottom of the problem. And I mean, like, my goal, my dream, and I said I don't do skincare, but I want, if somebody comes to me, you're gonna come out with nicer skin. Like that's
Right.
gonna be the side effect of what we're doing, right? you know, well,
Right.
not a side effect, but like that's if we're fixing your inside, like your outside was just gonna come with it. It was kind of like when I started Ace Man, and never in a million years did I thought I was gonna get a mane of freaking thick hair. Like never in a million years. It just kind of came with it, and I was like, "This is crazy. How is this possible?" Oh, clearly I had some pretty severe deficiencies, right? That I didn't even
Right.
fully
Right.
understand. Maybe, yeah. It was
Yeah.
so. I mean,
Well, and
it all goes
skin
together.
shows you what you're deficient in. So I had
Yeah.
numeral eczema like all over my body. That
Mm-hmm.
was one thing that got me into doing spray tanning here to kind of cover it up, right? So
Yeah.
then I got into like the whole food nutrition kick and learning Juice
Mm-hmm.
Plus, and basically it just gets you all those whole foods without the sugar. And I had no more. Like, I mean, my daughter had a big old patch on her face as well, and I was
Uh-huh.
putting it into her drinks, like her water and stuff, and she got rid of it. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
deficiencies, and it's
Yeah.
really interesting, and you probably will notice this once you've made me aware of things, and then now I'm thinking, I could see those things. And with me, it's like a lot of times moms can come in with teens and be like, well, I don't understand why her face is breaking out, or this, that, and the other, and they're exactly like the mom. It's the same
Yeah.
problem that I have with them, because the mom's doing, like, I had one that had some eating issues, like disorder like issues, but basically projected them on her son and did not realize
Of
why
course.
her son was having these issues. And I'm like, you've projected it on him. That's all he knows is watching you go through it. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting when it comes to that. And a spin fact of what you were talking about with the nutrition is like these teenagers are also taught when they get in high school and they're in sports, like, oh, let's eat a big bunch of pizza and this, that, and the other, and bulk up and da da da. But it's not like the healthy way. And then they have the acne all over them
Yeah.
breaking out because they're just
I
trying
mean,
to get out of their
I
body.
don't know if you have heard of it, but having kids and everything, but especially working with Ace Man, and something that and also being pregnant now, obviously everything I hear and see is babies, right? And this whole new thing going around with baby acne. And it started with me just seeing it on a person that I've known for many years. She started like a TikTok page and basically posting every day or every week or something, things she was craving. You know how it's kind of a thing that people say, "Oh, you're pregnant now, you have cravings." Well, first of all, that's bullshit. But whatever.
Yeah,
Either way, there's a lot of
totally.
people posting their cravings. So I started looking at her and it's like, it's kind of crazy. Like she's pregnant, and you would think that even the average person would think that maybe I should be a little healthier. Literally eating
Mm-hmm.
crap. Every single video, trying a new thing from Starbucks, trying this new candy that just came out, trying this new donut. It's just crap and literally no food. And then this baby is born, and I swear, covered in acne. And I sent her a message because only a couple of weeks before I saw the video, we had a lady coming, starting the Ace Man, and for her little baby, who was 3-4 months old, that was broken out all over the entire body. So she started the Ace
Mm-hmm.
Man, and long story short, I think only in a couple of days she stopped itching. And then, long story short, like eventually it went away, right? After whatever amount of weeks. And I told my friend, I was like, hey, so I actually have this other lady who had the same thing on her baby. So if you want to check it out, here's the video I did of her. And she's like, no, 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 everything is good. I went to the doctor and they gave me this cream. I was like, oh, great. I'm thinking, what is it, steroid cream? Yeah, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not a big deal. And this is literally what she said. Oh no, it's super common when they're born that they have this. And I was like, on what planet is baby acne common? I'm like, I've never heard of it in my freaking life. Who had baby
Mm-hmm.
acne when we were kids? It probably didn't even exist back then. And I was like, what? And then now I see it everywhere. The eczemas and the baby acne everywhere. And I was like, what is wrong with you people? How do you
Mm-hmm.
think that this is normal?
And a lot of you'll see babies with red cheeks and stuff like that in
Mm-hmm.
pictures. They're drinking formula.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that formula is like crap, excuse
yep.
my French, but like when they had COVID, they had a big
Mm-hmm.
shortage of the formula. Odd, right?
Good.
So they were using the Juice Plus like vanilla our complete mix, which is just is plants pulverized, in a powder
Mm-hmm.
form, and they were using that for feeding tube patients and for baby formula,
Mm-hmm.
and it clears up the face because
Yeah.
me having to like my oldest was like 2.5 whenever I came upon it. My youngest
Mm-hmm.
7 months old because I was weaning off of nursing and how to go back to work. And so I was trying to find just healthier alternatives for it. And it sounds grotesque, but you could tell from their poop. Like breastfed poop is
Yeah.
different than formula poop because they actually like, and they like
Oh.
intake it all. You know what I'm saying? And the other stuff is
Mm-hmm.
crap, so they just crap it out in a sense.
Yeah.
And so when you can see that whole thing like with your own eyes, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
there's something to this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love being a part of like just educating people because it's hard sometimes to open people's eyes. But I always like pray about it. I'm like, Lord, like guide the speech, let the right ears hear it. But if not,
Yeah.
like navigate me to the people that are like, hey, I want to listen. I want something
Mm-hmm.
new. Like I want change because so many people box themselves in and it's just not a way to live. But that's all they know, and so you just kind of have to let them be in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, education. We're hoping, or my goal, I have, but here's the thing, I'm going to breastfeed. I highly doubt I will have an issue breastfeeding because if you're not producing milk, obviously something's wrong with your body. But regardless, I got every time we sell Ace Man and we donate to orphans and they're
Mm-hmm.
getting something called Mighty Milk. So basically they take the Ace Man and powder and mix it with a how do you explain it? So they take milk, but it works for dairy and everything, lactose, everything intolerant, whatever. So this is what we're sending to the orphans. And I have a pack of Mighty Milk, and we've been asking, why don't we sell the Mighty Milk? It's kind of the same. Like you can just
Mm-hmm.
they've used these things in like feeding tubes and stuff. Why is these things? Why is your product or the stuff I do? Why is that not on the market? And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, so I'm doing my whole pregnancy outside of the system, no doctors, no midwife, no nothing. However, right in the beginning, I went and got one ultrasound and I found a place that doesn't identify you, nothing. So they don't know who I am. It's not registered anywhere. That was like my only reason I would do it. I was like, I am curious. I'm not gonna lie. However, I'm not going
Right.
to let anybody know about this. So basically, you can
Right.
just go in. They don't even care who you are. They
Yeah.
didn't ask any questions, and then you had to. There was like a form saying that I understand that you guys are not doctors, and I have to go to an actual doctor for help, and then you have to sign the paper. And I said, I don't have a doctor. I'm sovereign. She's like, oh, so many people are. Just don't ignore the paper. You don't have to fill it out. I was like, I like this place. So either way,
Right.
so when you went there, I got it, and then they give you a goodie bag when you leave with formula, and I was like, "Thank you, but I'm good." You can take
Hmm.
that back.
Or prenatal vitamins. They
Oh
usually give
God,
you that.
yes, just did a post about that. Holy fucking
Yeah,
crap!
I know.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, well, I was just talking to this new mom the other day because
Mm.
I share your story a lot with some of the moms that I have that are, giving them hope about, pregnancy and stuff like that because
Yep.
it's so true. It is so true what they do. Well, we have actually a lot of medical doctors that kind of still they believe like we do, and so they will help you, like you help people navigate certain things, like to get, like, say if they're in the hospital or whatever, we
Mm-hmm.
have certain clinical research doctors that know the codes or whom to talk to get this in, to get them into feeding tubes or get them into
Yeah.
certain kids that need it in the hospital. Like it is about who
That's a
you know, right?
project,
It's a
but
will, there's a way, right?
mm-hmm. Yep.
But at least there are people like us out there trying to advocate
Oh yeah.
for it, and the more we can come together and push it out in great avenues and just live that lifestyle, because I always say
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't care how much you share until they know how much you care, right? And
Yeah.
so we just have to keep like watering on them as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell me a little bit. How old are your kids?
They are 12 and 15, and
12.
they just went to the first show with me here in
Mm-hmm.
Miami.
Ah.
Their minds were blown. My
Yeah.
oldest, they had this thing when the DJ's still trying to hype up the crowd, like during
Mhm.
intermission. They're like,
Mhm.
get on the stage and walk. Of course, she gets up there and walks. She's feeling
Wait, I didn't
almighty. It was
see that.
so cute.
I must.
Yeah, yeah. And then, they're at that teen impressionable year. So to see the red carpets, the
Uh-huh.
photo shoots, and like all the cameras and the glitch, and seeing it pop up on, like, I'll show them on Instagram, like, look, guys, look, there you are. It was a really great mommy moment. Like, even, the placement, everybody places different when they win or placement
Mhm.
or whatever, but like I felt like I had won that part with them because that was just such a sweet thing, because
Yeah.
they've never seen me do it, and like to hear their voices,
Mm.
like we'll have like little code words that they would say and it tells me to kind of do certain things. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I can hear it. It was really nice.
Oh, that's fun. So tell me how, I
Yeah.
mean, this is some time back, but I would love to know just a little bit about your birthing experience.
What now?
Your birth experience.
Oh, my birth
Because this is
experience.
something I've
Well,
obviously been starting to cover with working on my documentary and everything. How was it for
uh-huh.
you a
Well,
decade ago?
I'm a good one to ask that question with because I've had
Mm-hmm.
two and they were both completely different. Like I had
Mm-hmm.
one first time mom, you're kind of like running like a cattle because people
Mm-hmm.
just condition you to think a certain way. And it was rather really traumatic. My baby was
Yeah.
about 10 pounds.
Oh,
And
wow. Mm-hmm.
they want to get you in, they want to pump you with Pitocin, and they want to pop you out and turn the beds. Like that's pretty much what
Yeah.
they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they say give you a birth order or whatever those little papers are, they don't even look at them. You're
Yeah.
just in and out. Now the second, and that was traumatic. I mean,
Uh-huh.
because you don't know like
And
what's going to happen, and
did you know back then that there were other options? Like, did you know even that you could do it without like a doctor? Was that
well, I knew that there was midwives, but in our
Mhm.
area, there was only one for
Uh-huh.
this whole huge area. And it being
Mhm.
my first child, and I was like, I just gonna need some more attention than that. I felt because I just wanted to be in
Yeah.
touch with somebody,
Mhm.
and so I went that route. But the lady that ended up delivering my baby ended up being my mother's client, so it was a real kind of cool thing. And it was like the
Mhm.
last year she worked, she was very
Mhm.
knowledgeable. Like I'll never forget, she came in with like one of them tennis elbow like bands around because
Mhm.
the baby was so big. They're like, if we don't get her out this time, you're gonna have to go for a C-section. And I was like, whoa, I don't want to do that. And so it was like she just kind of went in, pulled her out, and like she didn't cry at first. And I was like, my girlfriend had told me this
Mhm.
traumatic story of her
Yeah.
birth story because she was like the first lady I ever knew to have a kid. And she's
Mhm.
like, he wasn't crying when he came out. I'm like, what? What happened? She goes, it was just like some, kind of like trauma coming out, and it just took him a minute because
Mhm.
going down that birth canal is like there's a purpose for that, to
Yeah.
get all the air
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
your lungs as it comes through. And but she did, like, once she came out, she started crying after a minute or two. She was just I don't know, getting herself together. I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they clean her off and give her to me, right? Well,
Mhm.
the second one, I had a midwife because of course that whole program had like developed more and they had more people. It was a really more calm experience,
Mhm.
more natural of an experience. And of course, after having a 10 pounder going to 8.5, I felt like she shot out like a hobby pup. Like it
I
was
bet.
just like
Yeah.
bam. And but it was so different because I did have a midwife, and they come out and you like want them on their chest, and I'm like, ooh, like it was like I had all the stuff on it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't really goo goo gaga that. Like, can you
Oh
wipe
no,
her off a little bit and then bring her
thing that with
back?
the cleaning off because you're not supposed to clean them. That's actually something. So I have
Right.
an interview with a doula for my film soon, and that's one of my
Uh huh.
questions about the cleaning off because there are all these things that they kind of make you think that you need to do. For example, cleaning them, and then they need to weigh them, and then they need to do this and that, and I need to cut the umbilical cord. It's all nonsense. So first and foremost, you're not supposed to clean them off at all. Then obviously that's an individual choice, but whatever, it's there for a reason. And then the same, the umbilical cord. I have actually, at first I thought I was going to delay cord clamp, but I think I have decided I'm going to leave it on until it falls off by itself
Hmm.
because
Yeah. Well, it will fall off
that's
by
what it's
itself. It
supposed to do.
will.
Hmm?
Yeah, it does. It falls off by itself. And
Yeah.
it just like how it does depends on how much I had to Google this because I thought it was fascinating about a belly button because my daughter
Mhm.
now wanted to get her belly button pierced, and I was like,
Oh,
there was a hole there, and you were fed by that hole.
that's a
What actually
spiritual thing.
happened to the belly button? So we had
Yeah.
this whole like teaching moment of
Yeah.
how it
I think we're not
closes.
supposed to mess with the bell button. I said that's a whole spiritual thing. If somebody really wants to get into the stuff like spirituality, like that kind of stuff, you can literally cure disease through your belly button. So you can actually
Oh,
put certain. I need to send that to you. So I have a whole. I just gotta figure out where I saved it. So I have a whole thing about diseases and the belly button and which herb you put in your belly button for what.
mm-hmm. Well, it's like the skin and everything else. Like they say to keep it pure, keep it
Yeah.
clean. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't put inks and all the different things on it. But it's like people do it. They do what they're gonna
That's the
do,
thing. A
right?
lot of
So
people will
you just have
point
to
out.
roll with it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it was just both of those experiences were really different. And then when you have two, they can compare. You compare or you can, and the first one would just eat and gorge, like would deplete each one no matter what, and the second
Mm.
one was like a grazer, and it would just be, ooh, it was just like having titty twisters all day long.
Uh-huh.
But of course, it's worth it. And I mean, milk, there was no problem in that department because
Uh-huh.
I had to buy a deep freezer because it was just
Oh,
like so much
yeah.
production.
Uh-huh.
But so be ready for that. It was like 300 ounces, like every
Oh, wow.
week or I mean, it was either a week or 3 or 4 days. Like, I
That's
mean,
the
it
best
was
milk you
a
can have.
lot.
I have one friend now who just had her second baby and she's still breastfeeding the first one. So now she's like super excited that older child is now getting newborn baby stem cell milk. She's like, this is great, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We were cleaning out that deep freezer and I found one bag still. And they're like, you want to throw it? I'm like, man, I'm proud of that. Like, I'm going
Oh,
to keep
like
it.
now you mean you still have it now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What
Because
is
if
it they
it's
say?
deep
You can
frozen,
save it for like if they get sick or whatever.
ever,
No,
as long as you
just
needed it.
frame it. Frame it, put it on the wall.
I was like, this is blood, sweat, and tears, guys. You
I
never
was
knew
like,
that.
this milk is gonna save the world.
And I will tell you something that I know this is off topic from what we're talking about in a weird way, but like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you'll hear it, but like when you do breastfed and you have feed and you have a girl, you have a
Mhm.
female baby,
Mhm.
they will tell they will almost menstruate. You don't know this, but they actually have like a little blood come out the downstairs area of them, but that's from you and it's hormone. It's natural. It's
Mhm.
nothing bad,
Mhm.
but a lot of people will get really concerned when they see it, and it's not like so much like a real period, but it does come through them
Mhm.
naturally. But that's just a hormone kind of thing. I thought was kind of cool, but kind of interesting all at the same time. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about boys, but all I
There's
know
a
is
lot of
girls.
things. I'm sure they don't want you to know that, so you run freaking out to the doctor, right? Like everything else.
Yeah, well, I kind of just observed it on my own. I chalked it up to like woman experience. I was just like, okay. I mean, the lady was like, "Your baby was so big, like you should just have a picture on the hospital wall." And I didn't get when they kept saying I was gonna have a big baby. It wasn't diabetic or anything. It was healthy,
Mhm.
And but when I saw like those orange letters on the scale when they put her on there, I was like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's what they meant by a big baby." Like that is
Yeah.
like
Do
she
you
came out a three
think
month
do
old.
you
I'm not even gonna lie.
was she on time or were you early or
She
was
was
it
well.
a
I
little?
always say, who can really judge when
Yeah,
it's really
I don't
due? You
believe
know what I'm saying?
that.
Like her due
Good.
date was May 4th, but
Mm-hmm.
she didn't come till May 10th. I carried both babies. Fifth was it 41 weeks and 5 days. So it's
Mm-hmm.
almost 42 weeks total,
Mm-hmm.
right? They
Oh, that was
literally were. I had them in
in
there the
these
same
days
exact.
you would have been in. Oh, now we lost her. What just happened? Damn it. Why does it do that? Sometimes I wonder if it's my freaking Starlink. I have served Starlink. Oh, there she is. Hold on. I don't know what happened.
I have no idea. It just said, "Thanks for coming."
Oh. It just
So I
it's
was like, maybe
always
there was a
keeps.
timer on there. I have no idea.
No, it should not. There's no timer. I've done 4 hour live streams here.
Oh, really? Well, there's a hurricane coming here where we're at, like
Oh.
off the shore. So it's
Mhm.
been the weather stuff, so it could be on my end.
I was gonna say, well, you said 42 weeks, so that in today's world, that would have been an instant emergency C-section, I'm sure, because that's
Mhm.
usually what they say. Oh, you're over 40 weeks. Because that's why I'm telling people about the midwives too. The midwives typically work for the system. They have to follow policy. And if you're 42 weeks, they have to send you for emergency to the hospital, which is why I have decided I'm not going to have a midwife either. Because I was like,
Mhm.
I was talking to somebody about the whole thing. The thing is, like, if I would go somewhere and they would try to tell me anything, I mean, I might accidentally kill somebody. Like, I don't even want to be in that position, because I will have no zero respect for somebody coming to try to tell me something. Like, I will hit you.
Mhm.
And if I'm in labor or something, maybe I can control myself and might go really bad. So how about we just don't do
Right.
that?
It is really cool though whenever you're nursing and it's such a natural thing and you literally feel your uterus shrink. It hurts, but it actually is cool to feel so connected, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
or when they have the hiccups for the first time outside of you whenever they had them in you, you know, it's just a weird thing. I remember the nurse being I was like, every time I put her down she cries. Like, I don't understand it. It was my first baby and they're like, duh, you're holding her. Like, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen. You sometimes she's like, if you don't get some rest here in a little bit, I'm gonna like hold her while you sleep for a minute. But she went right to bed. But it was just like you have this new baby, you know, you don't know necessarily all to do with it. You're just trying to do the best you know how to. So definitely a learning experience on those first ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was the second one that had the eczema though. It was just really interesting, and I think it was because they pushed formula and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Oh.
I was just like, I'm nursing, and all the studies. I can go on another whole tangent. All the studies are based off babies or children that are not predominantly healthy, so they're normally like obese, overweight children that are fed not good food. So that's when they kept saying my baby was big in the 98 percentile. I was like, based off of what facts? Like, I was very healthy. My dad weighed.
But
My
you're also,
dad
I mean,
like
you're tall, and I don't know.
yeah, well, like his mother, her
Yeah.
biggest baby was 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, they have a record in a hospital here, and there was nothing wrong. She was 6'1". Like, we just have
Yeah.
big
But then I
babies.
I don't like either how, how the people talk about like diets and everything. I've always said there is no one diet. Like, you have the Ashley diet, I have the Maaxx diet. Like, there's not one
Hmm.
thing that just fits. Same with I listened to this free birth class, and this lady said there are as many ways of birth as there are women on this planet. Like, there is no thing that is what's normal. Whatever you do is normal for you. Like, stop
Right,
trying to compare that with everyone else.
right. Yeah. And I mean, and it's so interesting. Just it was really interesting when my water broke because I was like,
Hmm.
I was emotional a little bit, and then I'm like, oh man, now I feel like I just peed on myself. It was the craziest thing, and now I'm all wet and I'm cold because I'm in like kind of like a fight or flight mood because you're doing
Hmm.
all this. It was a lot. Like, I literally had so much trauma for that first one. I can't even know. I don't even think I've sat down and told the whole birth story to any one person because my
Hmm.
ex-husband, it was just a very traumatic type thing. But the second one is, I think, having the midwife made it like I was almost with just her. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Versus like the person that was making my life traumatic. So that's why it was a lot more calmer for me. But yeah, it is what it is. But you're gonna have a great one. It'll be a great
Hmm.
experience for everybody. Whenever if people just educate themselves, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I have no, like, even when I first found out, I just knew instantly that I was just going to do this. I'm just going to do this. I don't need anybody to help me.
Mm-hmm. But it is interesting when they do. When I was looking at baby stuff, like for skincare, like they'll be like, "Oh, baby rash, go get this." And since I did know ingredients, I would look at
Hmm.
stuff. And like mallow, like a lot of marshmallow, actually
Hmm.
stuff is really good for diaper rash and stuff.
Oh,
But
I have
they
my.
really won't get that kind of stuff when you're feeding them. I mean, sometimes if you have like a cabbage or something that's a little more edgier of a food because they're just getting used to everything, but
Mhm.
normally it's what you're eating that is kind of maybe their systems don't like or not used to yet
Mhm.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic. No one's got. So spirituality.
Yes.
Talk about that. What's your how's your journey there?
Oh, it's how I live. Basically, I am a Christian believer. I believe that Jesus Christ died for our sins and that we are not perfect. We are just forgiven and that He's going to come back one day in the Holy Rapture and we are going to go. And I just feel that I'm mission driven to whatever vehicle it is, whether it's fitness, skincare, nutrition, shows, whatever it is. It's just a ministry to connect with people like yourself and share and educate other people, but also just bring people to the light because there's a lot of darkness out there, you know.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of people we are kind of created for community, you know, and that is why COVID was such a horrible thing to isolate everybody because you live longer being connected to people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Froze up. Is there a hurricane over there that is messing with us? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Well, however, do we have any moms on? Yeah, I lost her again. Look at that. So annoying. I'm getting very cold. I have a AC in here that is kind of annoying. But there will be a move happening very soon. And starting to shoot for the documentary this week, the Sovereign Mom Project. I also, you guys might know, I started talking about the sovereignty and basically taking ownership of your straw man, setting up your trust, all the good stuff. You can find some of it on sovereigncodes.com, depending on the guide. I need to make one joint page for all of them. I also have them on Amazon. This is all going to be a part of the Sovereign Mom Project. So I want to teach people not only about, a healthy life, living natural pregnancy, natural birth, all of this stuff, but also being able to and knowing how to set your baby up for a good, free life. So, taking ownership of your strawman, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for your child. There are different ways. I am going to have one mom uh, that I will be talking to very soon that does this whole thing about not having a social security number. That's one route. You don't have to do it that way. You can still take ownership of your strawman name for you, for your baby, for your family, and definitely set up a trust. And if when you have a child, you can put the child into your trust. That is how you protect your assets. I know Ashley here, we were talking a little bit before we went live about trust setups. There are different kinds of them. I highly suggest you guys set up your trust yourself and not hire a lawyer or attorney or something to do it for you. They work for the system, they don't work for you. And they're never going to tell you all of the beautiful benefits about having a trust. For example, I was asking Ashley here before, I said, so do you have a trust? She said, yeah, I do have a trust. I was like, that's great. I was like, do you pay tax? Because I was like, did you know? So I guess she had maybe a lawyer or something help her, right? And they never tell you actually how to utilize it properly. Let's see. There. Is the hurricane chasing you down?
I think it just keeps going up. Like you froze, and then I
Uh-huh.
reconnected it, and then it, you were just frozen on the thing. But I kept talking, like I could see my
Oh,
bottom thing move. But
yeah, you froze up a little. Where were we? I was just talking about trust setups here while you
you
disappeared.
you were talking about what?
Trust setups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said I
We
want
were talking
to
about
go
like
ahead.
faith and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Spirituality. Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you. So you said, okay, you believe in Jesus. What about the other prophets? Do you believe necessarily in just Jesus, or do you just think that was one of the prophets?
No, he had many prophets. What was it like 12? He had he discipled several prophets. I hate like
Mm.
was it 12? I think it was, and then they went out and they spread his word and helped them in different ways. I can't
Oh, I
remember off
missed.
the top of my head
I've
if it was
never,
12.
like, for example, I've never read the Bible, but I did read the last book of the Bible, which covers everyone that was before Jesus. That, which is, I don't think I'll ever read the Bible, to be honest. I thought that was more interesting than um I don't know where I don't know remember where I bought it, but basically it covers everything before the Bible.
Yeah, like where we live now is after Christ because he's already come, and BC is
Mm-hmm.
before Christ, which is where a lot of the Jews and stuff are kind of living their principles from before Christ. And then when you read the Bible, actually, it is pretty interesting because it pretty much has tells you everything that's pretty much already happened in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so similar, like all the different things like from the different characters in the Bible are similar to different character people that you're going to come across in your
Mm-hmm.
journey in life, and certain scenarios that came in the Bible are so similar to certain scenarios that have come in modern day, which is really
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And one thing I always love is that how, like when I do facials and stuff, like I cleanse, I do massage, effleurage, the hands and feet and stuff. And I always kind of think of
Mm-hmm.
Jesus because it's like the way that woman came in and she was desperate to have some healing done. And back in the day, oils were very expensive to have.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was like the best thing. And
Uh-huh.
she poured all of her oil that she had on his feet to clean them, and took her hair, because hair is like the woman's, like, just like almost like a crown on her head, and she
Mm-hmm.
used the hair to like wipe it off. And one of his disciples, I can't remember which one it was kind of bad mouthing or being not nice or something, and he was using her as an example. She has nothing and gave me her best
Mm-hmm.
just for healing, just
Mm-hmm.
showing that. And he seems to go through people in the Bible like that many people in the world would be like stray from, or what, like he went in through the prostitute, in through the beggar, in through the
Mm-hmm.
poor people, like, so he used like kind of like the last least advantaged people to get to maybe the king, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's just interesting. And I mean, down to Cain and Abel, they were twin boys, and one pulled the other one back to let the hand be born first, to be like the firstborn to get the birthrights. I mean, you see a lot of that sibling rivalry in today's world, so
Mm-hmm.
there is just a lot of similarity in there. I have a lot of lineage of generations from my mother's side, in Christianity, and my dad was more Catholic, which
Mm-hmm.
is where they kind of worship the Mother Mary and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Where I believe the only way to heaven is through Jesus, is just accepting him as your holy savior, and that he has died for your sins and is coming back, to take us. And that is also another thing. Like, everybody doesn't know the awareness of it, just like nutrition, just like what you talk about. So it's just about meeting people where they're at. I
Mm-hmm.
find with a lot of Jewish people, like, I mean, they have been put confused. It says biblically that they were confused, and that's why he mixed up the different people all over the country's languages so that they could not understand each other in a sense. And but Jewish people, you can witness to them by telling them stories they love. Like, I could listen to a story you might say, tell me, and I may or may not believe or agree with it, but I'm still listening, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
seeds are still going in me. The same as like me and another lady of a different faith may not agree the same, but we're still listening. So some truth is watering in there, and I respect where people are coming from. Like, I'm not disrespectful just because you believe whatever you believe. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna force or not like you or whatever. But that's just my journey, because I've had such a colorful life, and I feel that I'm blessed to have been still be alive to tell and share my stories, because I feel that so many people judge a book by their cover, and
Mm-hmm.
they never know where that person has gone through, or where you've been, or where I've been, to get where they are today.
Mm-hmm.
They might see you on, like, when I met you, you just won your pro card, or before I met you, before you went the pro card, we sat down at the table in Vegas together, and I'm like, wow, look at her. And then I met you
Wait, my pro
before, and
card.
then you
No, you
won
can't have
it, and
met
I'm like,
me before
oh.
my pro card. I won my pro card on the virtual during COVID, so I hadn't met anybody.
Oh, well, you must have
Yeah.
already won it then whenever I
Yeah.
saw you in
And then on
Vegas.
my first show, I got my crown.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought you won in Vegas when I was there. Would you
Oh,
win
you mean
there?
the world title? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, the world
yeah,
title. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I was just talking to that girl.
Oh. Okay, so
We were talking
I
about
have
spray
I have
tans.
to ask this though. Do you believe the Jewish are the chosen people?
Yeah, well, they are. I mean, that's what they say, that, but that doesn't mean they're going to get to heaven automatically just because
So
they're
what about the
Jewish.
shit they're doing? Like, I'm sure you're aware in Hollywood. Like, we work a lot with this stuff. We know a lot of dark things. probably more than a lot of people know, and I think what they're doing and the way they are defending themselves is disgustingly disturbing. I've heard things out of their mouths that you know that they see you and me as animals and you're allowed to rape an animal. Oh, she frees up again. What the heck? It just cannot. I was not supposed to say that, I guess. Hmm. Why does it do that? Somebody's like, Maaxx, don't say it. Don't say that. We gotta say it. Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. Hmm. Is it working for you guys? I don't know why it's doing this. Am I good? Am I freezing up too? Or is it just her? This is freaking technology. So when I move, I'm thinking I'm gonna have something else. Anybody have advice on freaking Wi-Fi that actually works for upload? Not download. I don't care about the download speed. I don't care about the upload speed. This is the never like most internet providers, they have, I don't even know, like 5 megabyte upload speed or something. And I was like, no, I work with like I need more upload speed than download speed, please. Like, but most people wouldn't even ask about that because most people just sit at home and like look at a movie or something and then it doesn't even matter. Then it doesn't matter. She said, I can hear you and see you. She can hear and see me, but I can't see in her. Can't hear and see her. Okay, guys. Well, until she's back here, I want to do a. I'll probably do that in the next few weeks. I want to do a stream where I basically talk about, you know, the little things you can change in your life to be healthier, be better. So I want to kind of go through everything step by step. Obviously, this is not something you change overnight, but taking one thing at a time. I was just talking to a friend the other day about, you know, laundry detergent. I don't know if you guys saw the videos where these kids' eyes are literally getting burnt out of their face for playing with these laundry detergent pods. So that's just one little thing. Okay, what do you do instead of buying the poisonous laundry detergent pods? Well, you can make your own. How about organic vinegar, baking soda, and a splash of alcohol? That you can use. You can even use that for like cleaning your house. And actually, I thought the first time I did it, I was like, is this not gonna smell weird with the vinegar? No, it doesn't smell anything at all. It's the same washing your hair. I wash my hair with beef tallow soap. It's a straight beef tallow. So that would be the shampoo. When you start it, it would probably take a couple of weeks to basically for your head and hair to perch, like all those chemical crap you've been using is going to come out of you. So it will take you will give it a little bit of time. If you have long hair, you might want to put it up in a bun for like the first 2 weeks or something because it's going to be disgusting. And then after that, it's freaking great. I wash my hair so fast now, just soap and that's it. And then if you want like a conditioner, you can use apple cider vinegar and basically just put it in and get all shiny and stuff. Okay, let's see. There you are. I don't know what's going on. I think I was like, did I say something that?
It said that I went into the green room.
Uh, I said, did I say something that I was saying about the Jews? We're not supposed to say things about them. Either way, there's a lot of very crazy things happening right now. Has been for a long time. I have a friend who made a movie with like it's literally like a very long film of proof of what they're doing. And I heard this is the words out of a rabbi's actual mouth. They're saying that all people that are not Jewish are seen as animals in their beliefs, and you're allowed to rape animals, which is why they can rape and do whatever they want to anyone who's not Jewish, and it will not be a sin.
Yeah.
Which is why I have very little respect. I don't. I'm not. I also think there are shitty people of all kinds. I don't think there's like one kind of people that are all shitty and or all bad or all like good. I think that there's crap in every part and there's good in every part. However, I don't think we can deny that there are a lot of very shitty Jews.
Well, yeah. Well, there's Jews and Gentiles. They speak of the Bible, and they are just claiming to certain. You know how there's certain preachers that will just preach out of the Bible and take one context out to make it make sense and justify their
Yeah.
actions. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
kind of sounds like what whomever's probably doing with that. You know,
Yeah, I mean it's also when you really look
unfortunately.
into like what we're doing, with the Hollywood stuff, with the kids organizations, all of this is just so interesting that why is everything owned by them? Like it's just is that a coincidence? Definitely not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coincidence going on. That's why I don't really, I don't see myself as a specific, like, I'm not Christian. I'm not nothing like that. I'm spiritual. I believe in energy. I believe in frequency. I believe in the universe. I believe in other dimensions. I do believe in whatever people want to call it. I used to not like to call it God because of how I was raised. Because everything we were taught when I was young was that God and Jesus was associated with religion, which is wrong, right? Because religion is a business and belief is not. So I do believe in God. I do believe in what I don't necessarily would. I just said personally, I wouldn't necessarily like to call it Jesus. I don't even think that was the actual name. However, I do still believe in these things. Um, I just same. I don't pray. I manifest. It's just like little. I think everyone should do it however works for them. And when I used to do a lot of health coaching, I would always have this mindset work for people. And I had a girl was telling me, she's like, Mike, I'm such a bad Christian. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, I never go to church. And I said, who said you have to go to church? I said, I don't think that defines if whether you're a good, like, just do. I said, do you know what my church is? The nature. I go out in the nature. Like, I don't think you have to do it a certain way. You should be a good freaking person and you should do good things and you should do that however feels the best for you.
Yeah, and that's where like education and awareness and their own beliefs and maybe whatever they're taught, really it says
Mm-hmm.
biblically that like church is wherever God is and is he's in you. So if it's me, you, and my daughter just walked in here right now,
Mm-hmm.
like we are having church if we're talking about it.
Yeah.
It is wherever we 1 to 2, what was it, 2 to 3 conjugate or 1 to 2
Mm-hmm.
conjugate, but they say biblically it's God the Father, the Spirit, so it's the
Mm-hmm.
Holy Ghost, God, and Jesus. Jesus was the human that came from God, that came
Mm-hmm.
through Mother Mary,
Mm-hmm.
and that was how that was. But it's people are going to do and believe whatever they are. It's all on them. I just know what we know, what we believe,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I think that having a good platform that really it's like for me where I align that is just it kind of allows me to know principles of different people, right? You don't want to attach yourself to someone that's just like got negative
Mm-hmm.
energy, everything, like an energy vampire, like narcissistic. Like you don't want that because that's not going to be good. From my experience, it's never good. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to, when people are onward and upward, like Lauren Slocum, she said she works with Tony Robbins. She said one time, she's like, I want to help the people that have their hands saying, help me. Because so many people, like, you want the best for people and you can't drag them along because like they say, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Yep.
So you just kind of have to nurture them where they're at, meet them where they're at, wherever their journey is. And that's a lot with what I do with skincare. When people come in here, like, I love it because a lot of people in this today's world, it's all about skincare and vanity and this and that and the other, and it's like really we're all beautiful in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh, hold on, my dog is like going crazy with the neighbor lady.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of dark energy, I think I just brought it to me. She taunts my dog. She'll like come and just stand at the window and taunt her, and so she's done it since she was a puppy, and
Mm-hmm.
she always does that. So I just have to like release that because there's nothing I can do with it, but it's just so
Yeah.
annoying to me. It's like, you're not gonna poke me, I'm fine. But anyways, random distractions.
Speaking
But
of
you
Tony
know, so
Robbins.
it's really nice when I see people come in. Like I had this one girl one time, and yet we
Mhm.
know skin is from deficiencies, but and it's interesting when people come in that have gone to school for the degrees or whatever they're supposed to go in, and they think
Yep.
they're like holier art thou than you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, you know, but you still have the condition. I can make it go away, but whatever. She was turned away from surgeons and let's see, it was like two laser doctors, one's plastic surgeon. She had hypopigmentated skin, like all on her
Mhm.
her
Mhm.
negligee, and she wore like it was she was always covered up, and she was down here for a summer teaching, so she only had like a couple of months with her, but we did invasive treatments because I can't make her eat something that she's not going to eat, so
Yeah.
I just kind of ruled that out, meet them where they're at. And so I treat it as damaged skin. So if I cycled through the skin and actually, did some microneedling to it, put some different other like products on it that would actually get in there, kind of like perforating the garden. You know what I'm saying? Aerating it and then getting in there and getting all that damaged skin damage and like
Mhm.
scar tissue out of there. And when I left her, she had to go back up north. It was wonderful. She wore a top like mine, and she was just like, Ashley, I've never been able to wear this. So it was just nice when you can
So
see
what
things like
what did
that and
you
give them.
what what did she not want to eat, or why did she not want to eat the
Well,
thing?
like I mean, I can't make someone change their lifestyle. Like they might have like inflammation that they're not dealing with
I
that
mean,
is
I
something in
feel
their
like
diet,
if
and they're
they
going to help.
don't, it's gonna come back though.
Yes and no. Some of this she had had for so long, it was built up scar tissue because then they
Oh.
will pick
Mhm.
and do all those things.
Yeah.
So at least for the time and duration that she came to me, like for what it's like, well, you get what you pay for. They came to me. I
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah.
go with her
Mhm.
and make her do things. The only thing I could hope is whenever she like furthered herself in her school and her
Mhm.
like schedule got more consistent, then maybe she had to mature a little bit, and just kind of realize maybe I was in part of her life for her to regulate later. Hey, maybe that girl maybe had something because I know she still follows me. I know she sees and does all the things, but
Mhm.
again, you have to just meet them. My mom said one time, she's like, you can't force your stuff on people because you will lose a lot of people. And I was like, I understand that, but it's like kind of this and like this. Seems like driving a clutch, right? Because yes and no. Like I'm not going to shove it down their throat because they have free will, but I can pick and choose whom I treat and whom I'm around, right? So it's just I guess in different arenas.
I mean, now you don't. You just have to. I said, education is everything, and figuring out also what's actually important for them to know, because a lot of times, like, somebody might come and say that they have a specific concern, but that is not actually their main tick, right? Like, for example, I had a phone call with a lady who had a very severe autoimmune disease, and there was some other stuff going on. Like, there was a lot going on, and we're talking back and forth. And obviously, I want to help her with the autoimmune disease. And then, fast forward, after been talking for a while, I realized that all she cared about was losing weight. She didn't care about the
Yeah.
autoimmune disease. Like, it's,
Yeah.
and then I was like, huh, I need to change my approach, because of course I want to help her with the autoimmune disease, because I also know that the autoimmune disease is also playing a role in the fact of her weight, right? But a lot, like, they're not necessarily going to understand that. So it's like also, educating, but figuring out like what part of the education is actually going to matter,
Mm-hmm.
because especially in the world now, yes, a lot of people just want like visual change, and not realizing that a lot of it's coming from the inside. It's hard for
Yep.
people sometimes to connect the dots. They just want to slap something on because that will fix it. you know
Oh yeah, that's when you have to catch and release them. When you're working with the
yeah,
general public, you have to do
yeah.
that. If not, you would just be out of
And
business and
also,
you'd be
yeah, and
really
also,
energetically drained.
like, to truly get into the problem. Sometimes, like, we're just a world that been taught quick fix pills for things.
Oh yeah.
Just do, but it's like, hey, if we actually take the time. So I have a friend right now, and like, she understands, and I love that, because it's a really bad skin problem, right? But luckily in this case, she truly understands. So I said, here's the thing: when we start working with this, because I'm not here to shove something on your skin, we're going to take it from the inside. And I said, your skin is already bad. Can you be okay with it being that for just a little bit longer? A few weeks, whatever, whatever it's going to take. And I said also, it might actually get worse for a week or two. Is that going to be fine for you if we truly want to go in and figure out everything that's going on? She's like, yes, it's okay. Okay, cool, great. Like, that's what I want to hear. But sometimes also somebody actually truly starting to detox their body and cleansing is going to have to understand that it's going to have to come out of you, and that can, and not in every case, some people it doesn't get worse for it all, but like my personal issue back was all my joints that would be horribly achy all the time. And when I first started truly detoxing everything, it actually got worse. My wrists got really bad for about 2 weeks, and then they never been bad again. So
Yeah.
it's
Like
like,
getting a
are
facial,
you
you know, you
wanting to just
detox.
not have the ache today, or do you want to not have the ache for the rest of your life? Like, these things are not the same.
Correct. And that's where I said going back to meeting people where they're at, because
Yeah.
some people aren't open to the reception of
No,
it because they know better.
not at all.
So I'm like, okay, how's that working for you? You know?
And so all we can do is just educate. And I always believe that have you planted a seed, when the day is right, they will come back.
Mm-hmm. And if not, there'll be another one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's so many people,
All you
you
can do
know,
is
there's so
just
many people. There's so many things
sharing the
out there.
information.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to let you go. You got to go take care of the kids.
yes,
Now I'm
yes,
going
they're
to
coming in
take
here
care of
like,
my
how
kids.
much longer do we need to eat?
Yeah, the child needs.
But it was
Honestly,
great chatting with you, and we'll have to do it again sometime, and we'll stay on topic and have time longer. But I feel like we did cover a lot of different things.
yeah. Well, we can be more specific next time. Get into
Yes.
we can get into more of the sovereign stuff next time. More topic related. My audience is very conspiracy oriented, we can call it. So like my most popular episodes ever. And I'm going to bring him back, guys. Joss is coming back. The vampire episode we did. We basically showing like pictures and stuff from the vampire Bibles and the satanic Bibles and stuff, and showing them being in the Hollywood movies. The
Oh
juicy stuff.
goodness. Yeah, I don't bring the vortex of the energies of of any darkness near me. I keep it
No, I
bright
just
light.
want to people say, here's the thing. Nobody should worship or like anybody in Hollywood. Period. Don't listen to their crappy music. Don't watch their
They're
crappy
horrible.
movies. Just don't.
It's just human trafficking made looking cool.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Which is
horrible.
why
I'll
we're
have to
okay.
share with you a video that a friend of mine just sent. We were with when Charlie had to get his surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and you you and her would get along great. It was she has this whole. She might even be a good podcast. She was an
Mm-hmm.
epic person. Like I don't know you growing up, but when I grew up, like the fashion industry, like Calvin Klein, Kate Moss was big, like
Mm-hmm.
back then,
Oh,
and that whole runway
mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And she worked with them. Like, I don't know if you, what was his name? Oh, it would come to me. Oh, shoot. Mark Franco. I don't know if you remember his name, but he
Yes,
designed her
actually,
wedding dress.
believe it or not, this is so random, but I got asked to model for one of their shoots in Sweden back in the days. And I
Oh,
actually
really? Well,
went,
y'all would
and
probably hit it off perfectly.
it turned out, actually, I went on like a test shoot or something. Turned out that the photographer had been raping a lot of the girls, but I show up with my mom and my sister and like the whole squad. So I guess he didn't even try. But yeah, it was like all over the news after, yeah, how some of these girls
Oh,
have been
wow.
showing up alone and did not go very
Oh
well.
yeah, yes. The video she
Yeah.
showed us, that was what
Hmm.
they did. They would say, "Oh, it's a casting call.
Yep.
Come into this
Yep.
room," and
Hmm.
and actually, I'll forward it to you because
Yeah.
she just sent it to us, and I started watching it, but it kind of made me started feeling weird, so I had to take a break for
Yeah.
a minute
But yeah,
because
that
like
was
it
random,
gets
but
you
that was
mad, and
what it was
sad that
for.
they're
Yeah.
doing it to these little kids, especially when you
Mhm.
got your own in the other room.
Yeah, I think I was
So
like
I was starting to get
15 or
like mad.
I was like 15 when I did this. And when you're 15 and somebody's like, "Oh, we want to have you on a model." Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
I'm going to model. Like you don't know
Oh
any better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they get these pictures like Pro Scout. I don't know if you remember Pro
Yeah.
Scout back in the day, which I don't know if they were good or bad, but those were
Uh,
like big hedge fund people that
yeah.
would come by and get headshots of people. And
Hmm.
like I think they told me that I was too short, I was
Oh
like
yeah,
5'4" at the time, and then
I was
I was
too.
like, oh, my dream of being a model, And then now we're doing the WBFF stuff,
Uh,
so it's kind of like I can control my dream now,
uh,
and it's a great thing. But
hmm.
but anyways, we're opening it back up. We'll shut the box for
Yeah,
now.
perfect. We'll do. We'll cover this next.
Yes, yes. Well, you have a wonderful night. I'm gonna prepare for the storm, and we'll chat
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna go eat in a second. Yeah, we need to cover some. So I'm gonna have another talk to him, but I was talking to Jost. We might do a follow up vampire episode. For all you guys that are interested in the sovereignty stuff, I do have right now on the Pureblood, official pureblood.com, if you get any of the shirts, unvaxxed, untaxed, with that one, you get the free tax guide, how to revoke your tax obligations. Fully legal. It's all you just paperwork and forms. Or Dear IRS, that wasn't me. That's the straw man ownership guide, step by step how to take ownership of your straw man. And another book will be coming out with this shortly. That is going to be you own your straw man, now what? So it's going to be a guide on what you can actually utilize that ownership for. Then the sovereign mom, I will be starting to shoot. I'm looking for cool sovereign moms to have feature in the film. I got a pretty cool lineup, always looking for more people. So if you're a mom that maybe had a all natural birth, free birth, something like that, out of the system, homeschooling, no vaccines, all the good stuff, or if you're just sovereign, maybe you actually already do the whole trust, sovereignty, strawman stuff. Maybe you don't have a social security number, something like that. Um, anyone who's living sovereign, basically. So you guys can go to thesovereignmomproject.com. This is the website. You can sign up for email to know what's going on with the movie. You can, if you want to be a sponsor or investor, you can read about it here. This is the Ace Man and Molecule that I've used to restore my own health. We got baby registry. I got a video talking about the movie and why I'm doing this. If you want a full breakdown, you can also download the film deck if you want to have more information about the movie and the ideas and what it's going to look like. Social media, I haven't started posting yet, obviously, because I'm starting to shoot now. I just got my gimbal. I got a fancy ass gimbal that I'm gonna use to shoot. And I have a cool interview with some people for the film. So, yeah, if you're interested or if you know somebody that might be a cool feature in the film and want to talk about this stuff, do let me know because I am looking for all the fellow sovereign moms. So this whole trust setup and strawmanship and everything, it applies very much to, I would say, all parents or anybody, but I'm especially speaking to the moms right now. It's good to make sure you got everything sorted and set up for the time of the baby's arrival and you know what to do and you put the baby in the trust and you are protected for you and your family. So, guys, there will be more about this and I will talk to you all soon.